I am Savita Valsang and welcome to Statistics Made Simple. The second test under large sample tests are tests for equality of means. In this video, I'll be explaining this procedure. The procedure for test for equality of means can be asked as a phi marker. Let us first consider two populations. Let mu1 and sigma1 square denote the mean and variance of the first population respectively, and let mu2 and sigma2 square denote the mean and variance of the second population respectively. So remember that mu1, sigma1 square, mu2 and sigma2 square are all parameters because they are with respect to the population. Now suppose a random sample of size n1 is drawn from the first population. Then its sample mean is x bar 1 and sample variance is s1 square. And suppose a random sample of size n2 is drawn from the second population. Then its sample mean is x bar 2 and sample variance is s2 square. So here x bar 1, s1 square, x bar 2 and s2 square are all statistics because they are based on the sample. Here the null hypothesis is of the form H naught. The two population means are equal. So what are the two population means? They are mu1 and mu2. So they are equal means it is mu1 is equal to mu2. So please remember the general format for H naught for test for equality of means for large samples is H naught. The two population means are equal, that is mu1 is equal to mu2. And remember that H naught can have only the equality sign, whereas the alternatives can be either not equal to, greater than or less than. So versus any one of the following alternatives. So the first alternative can be H1, mu1 is not equal to mu2. This is a two-tailed alternative. The second one is H1, mu1 is greater than mu2. This is a right-tailed alternative. And third is H1, mu1 is less than mu2, which is a left-tailed alternative. Step now is to define the test statistic. So under H naught, the test statistic is, the formula is Z equal to x bar 1 minus x bar 2 divided by root of sigma 1 squared by n1 plus sigma 2 square divided by n2, which follows normal 0, 1. And here remember that if sigma 1 square and sigma 2 square are unknown, or they are not given to you in the problem, you have to replace them by s1 square and s2 square respectively, where s1 square and s2 square are the sample variances and you have to use small s. And the test statistic will now change to z equal to x bar 1 minus x bar 2 divided by root of s1 squared by n1 plus s2 squared by n2, which follows normal 0, 1. Now the last part of the test procedure is to write the conclusion. So the conclusions will depend on the type of alternative hypothesis and they are exactly the same for what we learned under test for single mean for large samples. So the first conclusion, if it is a two-tailed test, is you have to check if mod z is greater than or equal to k alpha by 2 at alpha level of significance, then you reject H naught, otherwise we accept H naught. The second conclusion is for a right-tailed test. So if z is greater than or equal to k alpha at alpha level of significance, we reject H naught, otherwise we accept H naught. And the third conclusion is for a left-tailed test. If z is less than or equal to minus k alpha at alpha level of significance, we reject H naught, otherwise we accept H naught. So here remember to write the alternatives in the same order because the conclusions are according to the alternatives. Now let us learn the mean and standard error of the difference of means. This is a very important topic because it will come for 2 marks. You'll have problems based on them. So the first note is the mean of the difference of the sample means. Here the mean is nothing but expectation E, and the difference of the sample means is nothing but x bar 1 minus x bar 2. So in notations, it will be E of x bar 1 minus x bar 2 is equal to mu 1 minus mu 2. Second is the standard error of the difference of the sample means is. So SE of x bar 1 minus x bar 2 is equal to. So remember that standard error is always the value which occurs in the denominator of the test statistic. So it is equal to root of sigma 1 squared by n1 plus sigma 2 squared by n2, or it can be SE of x bar 1 minus x bar 2 is equal to root of s1 squared by n1 plus s2 squared divided by n2. What you shouldn't forget for tests for equality of means identification for large samples. So let me explain how to identify that the given problem is based on test for equality of means for large samples. So firstly, the given problem will be based on only 2 samples of sizes n1 and n2, and these sizes should be greater than or equal to 30 drawn from 2 different populations. Second is words like mean, average, variance, standard deviation will be used in the problem. Third is we should be able to get 6 values from the given problem. So what are the 6 values? So think in your mind, what is the test statistic for equality of means for large samples? It is z equal to x bar 1 minus x bar 2 divided by root of sigma 1 squared by n1 plus sigma 2 squared by n2, or if sigma 1 squared and sigma 2 squared are not known, they will give you s1 square and s2 square. So the 6 values which you're supposed to get are, you need n1 and n2, then you need x bar 1 and x bar 2, then you need sigma 1 squared, sigma 2 squared, this whole set, or they have to give you s1 squared, s2 squared, or you need sigma 1, sigma 2, or s1, s2. Thank you all for watching, and look out for my next video where I'll find solutions to problems based on tests for equality of means for large samples.